What's up, everybody? Today we've got another simple tutorial for you guys. We're going to be showing you how to clean and lubricate your chain on your motorcycle. Really simple process, part of your normal maintenance, should be done quite often. Really, you can kind of just eyeball it and look at your chain and you can tell when it needs cleaned. Doesn't take that long, not that expensive, well worth it. Let's get to it. All right, I'm going to be showing you guys on this bike here. This is a KTM Duke 890R, but the principle will apply to most motorcycles with a chain. So as you can see here, we've got a couple chain guards that we're going to have to remove first. Your bike may be different. It more than likely, well, I mean, it will be different. So you can see here the guards on this just have a couple Torx bolts that we can pull out and remove it. Look at your bike and find out what tools you need for that. But first things first, let's get these chain guards off. There we go, one guard removed. Ooh, look at that. You can just see the slop all over that. Definitely time for a clean and lube. Look at that. So people ask, when should you clean your chain? And your motorcycle is going to come with a recommended service interval. However, something like cleaning your chain, I recommend doing it whenever your chain needs it. And a good way to tell is on some chains you'll hear them start to squeak. Some chains you'll start slinging stuff off, and oh, like this chain, it'll just look dirty. See here, it just looks like it needs to be cleaned. So we've gone a little bit too far on this chain as far as interval. Luckily this is a fairly new bike, so as long as it looks good and everything checks out, we should be able to clean it and lube it and we'll be good to go. So one more cover to take off and then we'll get to the chain. Okay, we got the front cover off. And you can see the front sprocket, and then the chain goes all the way back to the rear sprocket. Now ideally you want a stand to get your back wheel off of the ground, but in this case we don't have one, so we're just going to make do with what we have and clean the chain, move the bike a little bit, clean the chain. It's not the ideal conditions, but it's better than not cleaning it. So let's get to it. A few things you're going to need. You're going to need a brush with a plastic bristle. You're going to need chain cleaner, chain lube, and you're going to need some sort of microfiber towel. They sell brushes made specifically for chains, but again, don't have one of those, so we will make do. The main thing is that you're able to get the cleaner on there and scrub the chain. Even if you have to use just a microfiber to scrub the chain with the cleaner on there, you just want to be able to get off any of the gunked on stuff around the chain and also the sprocket. So first things first, we'll spray the cleaner on, start wiping and brushing the chain, and then we'll rotate it, and we'll do that until the chain is completely done. So you can see we've got the back section of chain pretty well cleaned, and we stopped about there and about there, front and back. So now we're going to rotate the bike and keep going. Okay, we got the entire chain cleaned all the way from the front to back. Looks like a brand new chain again. This bike has like 2,400 miles on it, 2,500 miles. And I had it cleaned when I got the bike serviced when it had about 600 miles. And to be honest, I just slacked off and didn't clean the chain until now. So that's my fault, but luckily, again, it's a new bike. So got lucky there. And we got it all cleaned back up. So now we're gonna start lubing the chain. We've got our chain lube here. Make sure if you have an O-ring chain that you get O-ring safe chain lube. So we're gonna put a piece of cardboard backer so we don't get a bunch of lube all over the wheel. And we're gonna roll the bike while we apply the chain lube. And the goal here in applying it is we want to get it in between these two sections. We wanna lubricate the roller, and then we want to lubricate the O-rings that are in between these sections to keep them wet. We don't want them to dry out. That's how you ruin a chain. All right, so we're going to take our lube. We'll put our straw on the end of it so we can direct it, give it a good shake. And the purpose of the cardboard, we just want to block any lube from getting all over a bunch of extra stuff. It's still going to get on stuff, so you're going to have to clean up, but this will just minimize it. So again, we'll spray. Come back and get this side. So now we'll take a clean microfiber and we'll just lightly remove any excess lube that's on the chain. This will just keep it from slinging up all over the place. Then we're going to roll the bike a little bit and do some more. Try to keep track of where you stopped and started. If you've got a visible master link that you can see, you can use that as a reference point. That way you know exactly where to stop and start. Go back and get the next side. All right, again, we're gonna get the excess off, and then we'll roll it around and keep going. So now your chain should be nice and lubed, clean, and ready to ride some more. The only thing that's left, we've got to, on this bike, you see our shifter linkage there, we had to disconnect to get the front cover off. So we'll put the covers back on, put the shifter linkage back on, and good to go for another however many miles it takes until it needs cleaned again.